Hello and welcome to the Johnny Blender 3 series, part 18. And in this section we're going to go ahead and continue on with creating shape keys for the face. And that being said, let's roll on out. So we got the mouth pretty well set. Now let's go in and work on, you know what, let's do the eyelids. Get a nice open and close eyelid. So let's create a new key and we'll call this one eyelid top. And we'll say closed .l. Okay, just like we did with the mouth. We're gonna do this on both sides first. So let's just select that. And you know what? Before we do that, let's tab out, grab our eyeball itself, and Shift S cursor to selected. And then we will grab our model. And now we want to rotate around the 3D cursor like so. Okay, so need to turn this off right here. We don't need to see the other ones in effect anymore at this point, so we'll just go ahead and turn that off. If you don't have that on, okay, let me turn that back on and show you. It's not doing anything. You're like, what's going on? Well, it's because you have to have the value set all the way up to be able to see anything move. So I'll just go ahead and turn that off and not worry about that for now. So let's go ahead and close that. Let's go ahead and just rotate it around until it's about parallel on the bottom. There we go. Tab out, and you kind of see it kind of goes through the eyeball a little bit. That's one problem we have with, I don't know that it's a problem, it's just one thing that we have with shape keys is they don't recognize that you rotated something. All they know is they need to move these vertices from point A to point B, and they typically take the shortest route, which is normal, pretty much a straight line. So what we can do though is kind of size our piece here, our eyelid, on the y-axis so it's a little bit thicker, and then we tab out and you can see it doesn't quite go through the eyelid now. So it's kind of a cheat, but make it a little taller as well. There we go. It's one way to keep it from to be able to keep this look and style and still be able to blink the eyes and everything. So there we go. Now let's keep going with this. Let me just go ahead and copy this so I don't have to type it again. If you just mouse over the name field there, don't click in. If you just mouse over and hit Control C, it copies what's in there, and then you can create a new keyframe and just go ahead and hit Control V. You can see it pastes it right there. So let's call this one top lid, eyelid top. The other one was closed. We'll call this one open. Okay, and leave the .L, delete the zeros. And there we go. And this one we'll do the opposite. Just go ahead and rotate it all the way back like so. And we can see how that works. And we'll need to kind of cheat with it as well. So let's scale it on the Z-axis this time, and maybe a little on the Y-axis as well. So there. Maybe a little bit more. Let's see. Just scale it pretty much on Shift X. Everything but the X-axis. So there we go. And I think that'll work. Okay. So we got our eyelids opening, the top eyelids at least, opening all the way and closing. Okay. Now we'll do the same thing with the bottom lids. Make sure everything's zeroed out. Plus sign. Let's go ahead and paste that. We'll say eyelid bottom. Go to the end, delete those. Okay. Same situation. Grab these guys. Control L. Oops, wrong selection. Control L. There we go. And rotate those until they're pretty well parallel. Top of it. And let's go ahead and scale it on the Y-axis and a little on the Z-axis. Same deal. There we go. And see how that works. Okay, I think that'll work okay. Alright, now one more. Go ahead and copy the name there, or side view. And create one more keyframe, paste that. Eyelid bottom open .l. Okay, so now we'll do the same deals. Open it all the way, and then scale it. Hit Shift X, and it'll scale it on every axis except for the X axis. So there we go. Okay. All right. So that one works pretty well. Now let's go about copying these to both sides. So we have, you can blink or wink or whatever. So we're going to select this first one, run it all the way up to 1, copy it, and let's go ahead and select that name of that one. Control C, Control V, name this one .r. There we go. And let's just copy all these first, and then we'll go about setting the actual vertex groups after we get them set. Okay, second one. Go ahead and copy that name, run it all the way up to 1, create a new one. .r. There we go. Clear it out. Grab that next one, all the way to 1. Copy the name. .r. Clear it out. Grab that one, almost done. All the way to 1. Copy the name. Copy. Paste. .r. Okay. Clear those out. Now, if you were not paying close attention, I'll tell you, I just selected each one of these, ran their value all the way up to 1, and copied them so we can have both sides. Okay, so this one is going to be left. Okay, let's just go ahead and copy that left so we don't have to select it from the list. Paste, paste, paste. So we got 4 of each. Then grab this one, right. Okay, let's go ahead and copy that. Paste, paste, and paste. Okay, so now that one only controls the right side. So on and so forth. This one only controls the left side. All right. So what else do we have? The eyebrows. So let's go ahead and create a new keyframe for that. Tab in here. Select all those. And let's go Control comma so we're not rotating around the eyeball anymore. And tell you what, let's set our proportional editing to enable, so we're going to take part of the forehead down with us. Actually, you know, that's not a good idea. Let's set that back to connected, and we'll just select one of the vertices, or a couple of the vertices here of the forehead itself. There we go. Okay, first one we're going to do is we're going to do brow down, so let's just drag those down a little bit, decrease our fall off there, and kind of rotate them in about like so. Okay, tab out, we'll call that one brow down.l. Okay, good. And one more, and let's go ahead and name it brow up.l. Tab in there, got everything selected that we need. Let's go ahead and rotate it the opposite way, drag it up a little bit. About like so. Okay. Well, there we go. Now, let's copy these over to the right side. So just run that all the way up to 1, copy it over, and just select that, copy the name, paste the name, rename the name. There we go. Clear everything out, grab brow up.l, copy the name, paste the name. Oops, wrong one. Copy that name, paste that name. There we go. Okay, clear everything out. Now, set this one to be the right side. Set this one to be the right side. Set this one to be the left side. And also the left side. Okay, so now individual controls for each little movement. Okay, Now that's pretty much all the basic facial expressions that we need to smile and frown and all that kind of stuff. But what if we want to make him talk? Well, there's a few shapes that the mouth needs to make to form certain words that we cannot form with our current setup here. There's a few of them that we can, but there's a few we can't. Like, for example, I mentioned in part 17, I believe, the O shape. So let's create a new keyframe, and we'll call this, let's just call it PH for phoneme. Phonetic is the sound of words. And we'll say O. Okay? Or you know what, let's not even do that. Let's just name it lips pooch. He's going to pooch his lips out. So we will grab the circle of the lips there, scale it on the x-axis a little more narrow, increase our fall off as we go, and we'll go to side view and pull that out, and maybe scale it on the y-axis a little smaller as well. And let's grab the inside there and just move those out. So the lips coming in. Let's bring these corners of this out as well. Trying to grab inside. There we go. Okay, so now kind of makes a kissy face. Okay, and if he wants to make a ooh sound, well, we'll just mix this kissy face with the top lip up a little bit, bottom lip down a little bit. Oops, there, wrong one. There we go. And there we go, kind of a ooh shape. So we can use these to kind of complement each other to make different shapes. Okay, so clear everything out. I think that's probably about all the ones we really need for our facial expressions. Now, I don't know if I have time to show you all of this, but I'll try. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is set up the controllers, the shape key drivers that are going to drive the shape keys. We'll set up the drivers after we get those set up, but let's do that first. It's going to be part of the rig, so let's go ahead and turn our rig back on. Grab our head model, and let's go ahead and create a new layer in our rig. Just tab into edit mode, and let's start off here with the chin. Put our 3D cursor right there on the chin. Shift A to create a bone there. Drag that down. And tell you what, let's Control Alt S to make it a little smaller. Control SH or X, excuse me, to make it wider. And let's rename that to chin. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's do the special. Let's name this DRV for driver underscore chin. Driver for chin. And it also, we need to turn off the deform. And there we go. So now, if we go to our model, go to our shape keys, and come down to, or go up to chin down, say insert or add driver. There we go. And added a driver, but we need to define the driver now. So let's split this window open here and turn this to graph editor. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Tell you what, let's turn off the toolbox and the properties in this window so we can make this one a little bit bigger. And turn this mode to drivers and select the key here. Select there. And we're going to need to turn on the properties of this window. And now, here's the settings we need to do. We need to turn the type to averaged value, and it gives you an error, but don't worry about that. It just means that it's not working right now because nothing else is set up. So we need to say the transform channel of JB3 armature and DRV chin. There we go. And right now it's saying X location. We don't want X location. We want our, is it going to be Y location? We'll try that first. The local space. And typically these numbers down here are usually okay. So now if everything is set up correctly, when I grab this and move it, the jaw should come down. So and it's going up. So I move it up, the jaw is going down. So we do need to change these numbers. Right now this says 1, and that means it's moving 1 up on the y-axis, the y location. So let's set that to -1, and now when we move it down, the chin goes down with it. Now this number is important to the movement here. So the bigger the number, the smaller amount of space you have to move the controller. So let's set that to -5, and we move that down. The jaw comes down quite a bit faster. So there we go. Now let's do the same thing with the chin left and chin right. So let's just copy this driver. Just right click on there, copy driver, then right click on the other ones, paste, and we'll just go ahead and paste it there on all 4 of those, or actually all the 3 that are left. And then we'll grab these and redefine them over here. It's going to have the same driver bone, but this time instead of the Y location, it's going to be the X location. And it should be -5 still yet, because it's going, I think, let me see. So if I move it, there we go. Well, let's set up the rest of them and see how that works. So X location, and change that one to 5. And then chin scrunch will be the Y location again, except this time it'll be when we move up, and we don't want to move it up too far, so let's say, well, +5. Okay, so now, okay, those are opposite. So chin left needs to be 5, and chin right needs to be -5. So there we go. So we can scrunch our lips up by moving that up, move our jaw to the right. Now, since these settings are high, it kind of looks blocky, if you know what I mean. So I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's set that to a smaller number. Let's say -3. Let's see how well that looks. Change that to 3. That one to -3, and chin scrunch to 3 also. Okay. So it's a little bit better. Kind of just got to get the hang of it to get it to look the way you want. So anyways, you can play with that for hours on end. Okay, so let's tab back in here, edit mode of the armature, and let's copy that bone up to the corner of the mouth, scale it down some, and then Alt-Control S, scale it down a little more. Right there, and let's go and turn our properties back on so we can rename it drv mouth corner.l. Okay, tab out, and now we're going to select our model again. Scroll down here to jump down to smile.l. Oh, we didn't create a frown, did we? We'll do that momentarily. So let's set. We can go ahead and paste the driver there, and come back over here. See that pop up. And change this to driver mouth corner.l. There we go. Y location, let's change it to a +3. And we move this up. He smiles. Let's change that to a bigger number so we don't have to move it so far. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and make him frown too. Just make sure everything's zeroed out. Yes, create a new one. And we'll say frown. There we go. And let's go ahead and control up so he takes up the full window. Tab into edit mode, grab the corners of the mouth, and turn on our proportional editing. So he's going to frown, and maybe the corners of the mouth come in a little bit, kind of like they do on the smile, but maybe the bottom lip's kind of pooching out a little bit. He's frowning and kind of pouting. He's not getting his way, maybe. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Control down, if you didn't see that. Okay, see what that. Okay, so that works, but I'd like to polish it up just a little bit. Grab the corner of the nose. If I can, there we go. There we go. That looks all right. He's pretty sad expression there. All right. Now we'll do the same thing before. Actually, go ahead and name that dot L. Oops. Hold on. Shift. The wrong space. Dot L. There we go. Run that all the way up to 1. Copy. Copy the name. Paste the name. Rename the name. There we go. And set the vertex group to right side for there and left side for there. There we go. Okay. Go ahead and save this. And let's go ahead and copy the driver from the smile. Copy. Paste it. Come over here. And this needs to be a -5. There we go. Little frown, smile, smile. So it's a pretty ingenious way. I didn't come up with this, by the way. I'm not not trying to brag about myself, but pretty ingenious way for controlling our facial expressions without having to set up stretchy bones and things that don't seem to work well across the different versions of Blender, and they break easily. But these will work pretty well. Have noticed in earlier versions of 2.5, if you set this kind of structure up, after 2.57, I believe, they changed the way the drivers control the shape keys, but they came up with a fix. So if you're messing with something and it's not wanting to work, you can go to Help, F-Curve Driver Version Fix, and it should fix it up. But we shouldn't need to do that from now on out, I don't think, unless they change something again, which they've been known to. But hey, can't complain, right? Okay, so that's pretty much how you set these drivers up. Running over time, so I'll tell you what I'll do. That's how you set them up. In the meantime, between part 18, this part, and the next part, part 19, I'm going to go ahead and do some homework and go ahead and set up the rest of our facial controllers to control the rest of the face. So you don't got to sit there and watch me go through all this tedious work. So like I said, I'll do that in the meantime, and when you come back in part 19, the whole face should be all set up. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you then.